Democrats are not even embarrassed anymore about their desire to destroy America. Nancy Pelosi was on Bill Maher's show and was caught red-handed when she let it slip that they want to give 25 million illegal immigrants citizenship. Watch this.
The California lawmakers just passed a law, it hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But
so you'd vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that we can move them to documented. One of the best things that we can do for our economy is to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
Wrong. One of the best things for our economy is not importing immigrants to take the jobs of our middle class, I promise you. You wonder why the job market is so difficult right now, why it sucks, why they lied, by the way, about the job report from a few months ago, and why no one can afford homes. Maybe, just maybe, because the demand exploded in both those areas, in jobs and in housing as well, and the supply pretty much stayed the same. It's, again, pretty simple stuff. Econ 101, supply and demand. You increase the demand, you keep the supply the same, and it turns out the prices go up. She says, no, let me rephrase that. She says, no, I can't do her voice. I'm going to try to do her voice, but she says, no, we aren't giving away free houses. We're making the American dream. That's my Nancy Pelosi impression. Lady, you wrecked the American dream when you way overspent, you inflated our currency, and then you let, again, tens of millions of illegal immigrants to walk into our country, increasing the demand in housing. Giving illegal immigrants hundreds of thousands of dollars is not the solution. It will only make it worse. Like, please stop right there. Again, I don't blame the immigrants for doing what they're doing. I would do that too because it's the greatest nation on earth. I mean, if you're living in Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador, obviously you want to come to America. It's not their fault. It's Nancy Pelosi's fault for encouraging it and creating policy that's allowed them to come here when they should have never been a thought. They should have known, oh, we go to the southern border of the United States, they're not going to let us in. But as you've heard at the end of the clip, the whole point is to make them citizens. It's what she wants. Now, look, I like immigrants. I love legal immigrants because of their strong pride in America. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, but you can't take in millions and millions of people every single year. It's not possible. You can't assimilate them. People have known this forever, and you've seen nations rise and fall throughout history because they've tried to assimilate too many immigrants at the same time, and we're seeing that in real time in our country right now. Again, and that's just not really a country at that point. It's anarchy when you're letting 25 million immigrants into your country over the course of 4 years. And not only are you letting them in, but you have no way to even document who they are. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they came from. All they have to do is walk up to the border and say, I'm seeking asylum, and they can walk right in. And of course, you give them a court date, but no one's going to show up. Of course, Nancy Pelosi knows that, and Democrats will give them citizenship so they will vote Democrat. That's the whole point here. That's what she says in the clip. And if that doesn't work, which there's a good chance that doesn't work because Republicans hold the line, if that doesn't work, then the long-term play is for those people to stay here, to have children, and those children vote Democrat. So when Republicans go out and they talk about, these illegal immigrants are going to start voting, what they're not saying is that they're going to start voting today. What they are saying is that Nancy Pelosi is trying to make them a citizen, and then they will start voting. And if that doesn't happen, then their kids will start voting. And we all know that, by and large, these people are voting Democrat. So that's the strategy. That's what they're doing. And they're not hiding it anymore. Nancy Pelosi says it right there in that video. Before I show you the other things Democrats are hell-bent on doing to destroy America, I do want to talk about alpha progression, guys. I've talked a lot about on this show the importance of fitness. I've talked honestly about how the left really wants to destroy that and some of the things that they're doing. That's why I've partnered with Alpha Progression, guys. Alpha Progression is a fitness app that actually integrates with your Apple fitness app, which I really love. So if you have an Apple Watch, it integrates into Alpha Progression. Alpha Progression shows you a plan for your workouts. Whether you're a beginner, it will make a workout plan for you. It spices it up a little bit, even if you're more advanced. If you're just kind of sick of your workouts, it's going to help you get a different variety in your workout, or you can just simply put the workout you already have in and keep track of it. That's what I do. I love Alpha Progression for that reason. Right now, if you go to my link, it's in the description below. It's alphaprogression.com/Joshua. You will get a 2-week trial and 20% off your first month. So you might as well go try it for 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it's been a game changer for my fitness, for my workouts. Spice it up a little bit. Again, 2 weeks free. That's at my link, alphaprogression.com/Joshua, in the description below. Well, apparently the warmonger herself, Liz Cheney, has endorsed Kamala Harris. Everyone could have seen this coming. JD Vance's reaction to this was pretty legit. Here it is.
Quick, there was some breaking news earlier today. Big endorsement. Liz Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris.
Oh, no.
And it's so interesting, isn't it, that every failed warmonger in the established D.C., let's just say, machine is behind Kamala Harris. That the peacemakers are behind Trump and Vance. Blessed are the peacemakers is what the scriptures say. Your thoughts, JD?
Well, maybe the best thing, not the very best thing, but a very good thing that I could say about the next presidency of Donald J. Trump is that he's going to make sure that people like Liz Cheney are laughed out of the Oval Office instead of rewarded, because this is a person whose entire career has been about sending other people's children off to fight and die for her military conflicts and her ridiculous ideas that somehow we were going to turn Afghanistan, a country that doesn't even have running water in a lot of places, into a thriving liberal democracy. And for that, Liz Cheney was willing to kill thousands of your children. Liz Cheney, you know what? I think it's the best thing in the world that she's supporting Kamala Harris. You are right. Blessed are the peacemakers. Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney make very, very interesting partners. They get rich when America's sons and daughters go off to die. They get rich when America loses wars instead of winning wars. And they get rich when America gets weaker in the world. We want American strength, American security, and most importantly, peace. Let's bring peace back to the world, and Donald Trump is the candidate to do it.
So there are so many good things here that JD Vance says. I think when people look back at the legacy of establishment politicians over the course of the beginning of the 21st century, it will be a legacy of warmongers, from Republicans and Democrats, by the way. And as JD said, there are a group of people who are, and just listen to how bad and how dirty this sounds, and it has to be said out loud more and more. There are a group of people paid by the military-industrial complex, and in exchange for that money, they send American youth off to die. It is that simple. It really is. This is the greatest way, bar none, where Trump has correctly evolved the Republican Party. Because Republicans were totally the party of wars, by the way, in the early 2000s. Everyone knows this. Most Republicans, if you poll them today and ask them, do you approve of the Iraq War? Do you approve of what was going on with, all the wars that Bush wanted us in? Most are going to say no. And again, it's been 20 years, less than 20 years at this point. So that is quite the evolution, and that evolution has really taken place in the last decade with Donald Trump. But today, the party of wars is the Democrats. There's no question. They don't even want to win in Ukraine. That's how you know. They don't want to win in Ukraine. They just want the fighting to continue. They'll come out and they'll say, support our allies. But they never say end the war in Ukraine. They just say support the allies. They don't want Israel to just quickly decimate Hamas. They want to draw it out, and they want to blame Israel for being attacked by Hamas. The thing that makes JD Vance and Trump attractive is that they don't like war. They've never said they like war, but if they have to be in a conflict, they strike quickly and they strike hard. So again, I'm not in favor of just doing nothing. I'm not in favor of being, lame and just kind of weak. But at the same time, Trump has accurately found that balance between striking hard and fast when it's necessary, but not getting into kind of long-term conflicts. This was the case when Trump killed an Iranian general, for example. Not a lot of people saw this in the news, but Trump, early on in his presidency, he went out and struck a Iranian general. It was quick, it was smart, and when the Iranians retaliated, they didn't kill a single U.S. soldier. They basically, took down some tents. And so warmongers in D.C. urged Trump to retaliate again, and Trump was like, why would I do that? We just took out their top guy, one of their top guys, and in return lost some tents. So we won. Like, that, we don't need to keep fighting. We already won the conflict. What you guys want us to do is continue to escalate it so that we spend all this money on defense and they keep making money. So again, one of the most optimistic things I see, and sometimes it's hard to be optimistic about the state of politics in America, but one of the things that I'm really optimistic right now about in America is that people are becoming really sick of armed conflicts, especially drawn out ones. And Trump is positioning Republicans to be the party that scoops up those people who are sick of armed conflicts. And it's creating this coalition that is honestly very new for Republicans. Democrats, on the other hand, are trying to literally destroy America and Americans' lives in return for money, from those who make arms and guns and weapons. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.